Three topics to cover today, just more of a general channel update. I'm going to talk to you about the sabbatical with Yvonne, where we're at with the sales, because I've got an update on that, and a little status update about the health situation as well. So this is kind of a follow-on video from last week's video, I guess. Sometimes when I make these videos, I have a very specific topic that I want to cover, like yesterday's Greg's update, for example. And some days it's just more like a stroll along the canal path with you and me chatting about a couple of topics. But first and foremost, thanks to everybody who's joined the channel recently. The numbers have gone up. Lots of new messages, super encouraging. I've responded to a couple of messages from the last few days, which took me a little while to respond to, longer than normal, because honestly, sometimes I read these and I'm like, I don't quite know how to respond, because I'm kind of sharing a lot with you, and in turn then that sends me off to kind of think about that. And then some of you respond and I read them and I'm like, oh God, you know, I hear about how difficult things have been for many of the viewers. So I see all of that, I read it, I respond as quickly as I possibly can. But thanks, just some really great conversations coming through from many of you. So I see you. All right, let's dive in. Sabbatical. Let's talk about Yvonne's sabbatical from work. What's the sabbatical for, John? She's trying to take a year off of work so that we can go and travel and have the comfort of Yvonne's job if we need to come back. I'm planning to come back, keeping that door open, because I'm out of work, she's not, and we don't want to just give up her career because she's worked extremely hard over the years to get to the position that she's in. And so to respect that process, she's applied for a sabbatical. Started that journey in January of this year, reaching out to management, which then moved to a formal application in March. And the company's process written into their HR documentation is that it's a 2-week SLA, so 2-week sign-off process to go from application to approval. And that, of course, was in March. Good morning, how you doing? Hello, Luna. And that was in March. We're now in May, quite deep into May. Exact date, let me just check on my phone. 21st of May. That's what happens when you have not in a job. You just don't even know what day or time it is anymore. Quite enjoying that, by the way. It's quite freeing, not having to worry about an alarm clock every day. So we're now in deep into May. Last week, she was assured at the start of the week, have you not had that documentation? That's shocking. We'll get you that by Friday. Well, of course, as many of you said in the comments, Friday rolled round and nobody had a clue what was going on. And so nobody responded. So Yvonne reached out to one of the senior people in HR, zero response. Reached out to his colleague, his assistant, zero response. And so over the weekend, with some time to think about this, I think just the frustrations were creeping through. And so on Monday morning, she reached out to Yvonne's senior manager and said, I haven't had anything. I was told I would get it Friday. Nothing's happened. Nobody's responding to me. I've drafted a letter of complaint. I would like to submit this. The manager said, oh, no. Don't do that. We'll get this fixed today. You will get the letter today. Well, Monday rolled round, no letter. It's now, what day are we on now? Wednesday? It's now Wednesday, and what they've said is, we'll try and get it to you by the end of the week. Let me spin this camera around just so you can see what's going to happen, and I'll carry on talking, right? Here come the geese. They've then said, okay, give us till the end of the week, and then we should be able to get the paperwork now. This weekend is a bank holiday weekend, so if it doesn't come on Friday, we're not going to be able to speak to anybody or hear anything until next week. So the person in HR who's now managing it has said, we've never actually had to do this before. We've no evidence, we've no idea how to do it, but we will get it to you. So the company has a policy in place of offering sabbaticals, but doesn't actually have a policy in place to manage sabbaticals. This company has been around for decades and has 3,000 members of staff. So it's proven quite fun to navigate this. So Yvonne has effectively said to the team, I need this by Friday, 3 PM, otherwise we need to move to the next phase of this process, which I don't know what that looks like, but this guy's came to say hello. Hello. So the sabbatical challenge rolls on, and yeah, as many said in the comments, when it comes to expecting help from the HR department, they're there for the company, they're not there for you. That is a really vital lesson. I've worked in senior management myself, I know what goes on here. But we're now stuck in this predicament where, again, it's not that we don't want to make plans, but we would just like things signed off, you know, dot the I's, cross the T's, and just get it done. So that's the sabbatical. It rages on. As soon as we've got confirmation, I'll let you know. Right, the sales process. So I sold this thing on eBay called an 8-sleep, which is like a heated and cooled mattress for your bed, and temperature controlled. I've sold it 3 times. The first time, the guy who bought it, his wife said, cancel that. Second time, the guy got the bed size wrong. So we have a super king size. He didn't have that, so he refunded it, cancelled it. The third guy I shipped it to last week with DPD. Half of it arrived, half of it didn't. Chased up with DPD, they eventually found the second half and delivered it to the guy. And then the guy went to install it and immediately messaged me and said, I'm super disappointed you didn't tell me. This thing stinks of smoke. We don't smoke. We've never smoked, so that's not true. So I messaged him back and said, that's not true. Look, it's in a box that was shipped from America to me. It's inside a bag. Check the bag smell. It's probably linked to that. So he did. Wait, you see this? All these guys out in the lit. Oh, big stretch. Well, they give you this look all the time, like so kind of snobby, not quite sure what's going on, but they just give you this little peek. Anyway. So he then says, oh, it smells of smoke. And I'm like, that can't be true. So then he says, oh, it doesn't work. So he's shipping it back to me. And half of it arrived yesterday and the other half is missing. Of course it is. Of course it is. Because selling anything in this country is impossible. Because if it's not eBay, it's the delivery companies. And if it's not delivery companies, it's customers. It's people who are I can't say anything about it. I can't guarantee it doesn't work. But now I'm going to have to buy a heat gun to check and see if it does actually hit the temperatures it's supposed to, which it was doing when I sold it. And now it doesn't. But it's been round the world thanks to DPD. People always ask me, like, why are you so calm about all this? Because I've had my freak out moments. I've had my moment, I go, ah! So it's coming back to me, then I'll need to test it and decide whether it goes in the bin, if it's broken, gentleman's legit, or it works and I need to then sell it on again for the 4th time. And in the middle of all of that, because of that sale, I got the self-assessment letter from eBay to tell me that, oh, you've broken the 1,000 threshold, you now need to do a self-assessment, reach out to your tax office. But I've sold a couple of extra items on Vinted, which was good. Right, the health side of things. I said in the last video when I was talking about this stuff that I'd had no issues with the kidney, everything was good. I shit you not. Within about 2 hours of that, I was doubled over in pain in the house on Friday night, like, oh, just like feeling it in the side. And I know a couple of people have messaged me and said, I've had a kidney stone before, I know what that feels like. So to those people, I've got that flank pain right now, just down right on the hip, where basically the stone, 2 of them, is moving through the kidney. And honestly, you can go from feeling totally like this, just everything's fine, right? And then suddenly bang. And that was Friday for me. I went to shoot a video and I got home to try and edit the video, and by the time I was home, I was absolutely doubled over in agony. It was just killer. But a couple of painkillers and some lemon water and a hot bath, and a couple of hours later it started to ease enough that I could go to bed, sleep. And then since then it's just been on and off. So I know it's on the move, which is not good because it's painful. Wait till you see what this is coming along the canal path here. You see this, look. This is like Middle England life on a Wednesday morning. I had to think about what day it is. Lovely looking boat. Good morning. Great looking boat you've got. Beautiful. He was friendly. People always think everybody on these canal paths are friendly. Said hello, blanked me. It's probably like, who's this tool with the camera watching me? Okay, so the kidney pain is starting to kick in. But the good part of that is at least they're on the move, and hopefully I can try and pee them out, and that would be a big weight off my mind without having to do any kind of ultrasound or the surgery. One of the things they wanted to do was put the whole tube right up and then kind of laser it out and then leave the tube in place and then they pull it out later. Every thought of that gives me the absolute fear. So I think that's what's trying to push them out naturally within my body. Lastly, and a bit more of a positive, this Sunday Yvonne and I are off to a wedding, a friend's wedding that we've been patiently waiting for. We are only really back here at this point because this wedding was happening and we knew we couldn't miss it. So on the plus side, my May motivation month has kind of kept me in a reasonable shape, and I'll cover that at the end of the month, but it's kept me in a reasonable shape. So kilts arrived for me, everything fits great. Yvonne's got her dress organised and she's had it taken up and it looks great on, so we're happy about that. So that's a positive, because the whole stress of like going to a wedding and getting dressed and everything is always a nightmare. And Yvonne is a self-confessed shit shopper. So this is always a major gripe at this point. But that's probably about it for now. Those are the major stories. Sabbatical, work in progress. Selling stuff, waiting on it coming back once part of it arrives. And the health issue, oh God, I just hope this goes as smoothly as possible, because this part's just not nice. It's just the pain, it's not nice. And then hopefully we'll go to this wedding this weekend, have a good time and relax a little bit. And this is a bit of a pressure point for me because I'm not drinking, and I've got this wedding this weekend which I'll go and be sociable without alcohol. Can be done. And also I've got 2 meetups next week, one with old colleagues from my business that I've left, and one from a customer that used to engage a lot with me, who's like, let's go for a lunch. So 2 lunches, must avoid alcohol. I'll keep you posted on how that goes, but me telling you here that it's alcohol free means that in my head I'm like, can't let down the channel. That's accountability. Me telling you this is accountability. Right, let me give you one last little spin round and let you see what's going on. And then I'll leave you for today and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Just walking along this road on the way back home, and I'd like to remind us all that there's a hose pipe ban in the UK. So don't use more than you need to, because we wouldn't want to waste water.